Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna let it rain. Tonight we gonna let it rain. Tonight we gonna let it rain. Just like the sunrise, we gonna let it rain. Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna let it rain. Tonight we gonna let it rain. Tonight we gonna let it rain. Just like the sunrise, we gonna let it rain.
Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. I hope it's a happy Monday. We're starting the week with something of a heavy topic, so that's fun, I guess. Oh my. Let's see. So, as many of you know, there has been some dramatic cutbacks in medicine recently, and we're going to talk about some of them. Today, I'm wearing my Folks shirt because even though this channel isn't sponsored, I myself am a Folks ambassador. That's an HRT healthcare service geared towards trans people, but not exclusively for trans people. There's lots of people who benefit from HRT and other forms of healthcare. In fact, trans people are a drop in the bucket compared to the cis people who benefit from the many wonders that hormone replacement therapy can do. There's millions of women who are going through premenopause who use HRT to help get their estrogen back up, clear brain fog, feel better, live better lives. There are millions of men who take testosterone because they suffer from low T and fatigue and low energy and so forth. It does wonders for everyone's quality of life. But Folks is specifically designed to help trans people who can't get access to HRT through normal means, because things like Planned Parenthood aren't available in every state. Or even if there is a Planned Parenthood, access to HRT isn't available in every state. There's a lot of states where all kinds of gender-related healthcare is straight up banned, and people don't consider the consequences of such bans, like when they talk about prohibiting puberty blockers Remember, the majority of puberty blockers are used for children who go through early puberty, and it's for social reasons. You end up with a child who's 6 feet tall in the 4th grade with a full mustache. It makes them look odd. It makes them stand out. Puberty blockers help with that sort of thing, to delay puberty. And they are reversible, because that's the point, is to delay puberty. It's, as many have pointed out, the same drug that's used for sex offenders. And when it's used for sex offenders, in a much higher dose, might I add, it has to be administered every month, because if you don't keep re-upping the dose, it wears off. Because it's reversible, it just wears off. But Folks doesn't do puberty blockers. It's strictly adult healthcare, HRT, for people. It is a subscription service, but they do take some insurances. Not any insurance I've ever had, but they're always expanding the list. But on the flip side, for your subscription, you do get access to physicians, you do get access to therapists, and you do get access to the medication you need at a significantly reduced rate over buying it straight off the internet. And there's quality controls from an actual pharmacy, which is always nice. There are other services. Plume is one that comes to mind, though I haven't tried that one. I have worked with folks, they're good people, and the medicines are reliable. So yeah, that's what I have to say about that. Unfortunately, I am very poor, so I can't afford the subscription anymore. But they worked well with me. They liked what I was doing as far as messaging and advocating for trans rights, and that's why I got to be an ambassador. I only mention that because that's one of the many facets of healthcare being affected by the current administration. Now, I was hoping some of my friends would join me on this one. There's one person in particular who said she would definitely be here. Alas, it's Monday. C'est la vie. But thank you all for being here. It's so wonderful to see you folks. I see Pragmatic opening the show with all the links. We love you, PC. You are the best, including a link to Trans Lifeline, which is very, very necessary, increasingly so in the world today. Captive Desk, hail Bigfoot, good to see you. Randall's here, and Equus, and Fern, hello Fern, and Ryan made it over, good to see you. Ryan's had a busy morning. She had to solo the damn show for a little while, for a bit there. Miranda's here, hello, hello. Left-handed Jedi. Ryan says, I couldn't live without my HRT. It's a lifesaver. Yeah. Equus says, I didn't do HRT and now it's too late to start. Wasn't smart about that. Okay, so first of all, I thought it was too late for me. It wasn't. I would have had an easier time if I'd started sooner, but I don't believe it's ever too late. That said, don't blame yourself for what happened in the past, because access has always been hard. At certain points in recent history, it was easier than it is right now. But in points before that, it was just not just hard, it was inaccessible by way of no one fucking knew about it. Part of my story is that I grew up as a child expressing frequently that what we would now call the gender that I was assigned to was not correct. And at every turn, I was told by parents and teachers and counselors and everyone, well, tough shit, it's not possible to change that. We've known about trans healthcare. Christine Jorgensen became famous in the 1950s. Every single adult in my life as a child knew damn well it was possible and fucking lied to me. All of them. So don't blame yourself for not getting access to healthcare you did not know existed. But that said, I don't believe it's ever too late. So I'm just throwing that out there. Let's see. Fern asks, what does the subscription cost monthly? It was $39 a month, I believe, which isn't bad. especially considering you get access to the medicine at the same rates you would pay as if it were through insurance. But I couldn't afford it because I'm very poor. But yeah, I mean, overall, at the moment, I have to acquire my medicine through alternative means, and the cost of the medicine without a monthly subscription is only slightly less than the reduced cost plus the monthly subscription. But, you know, c'est la vie. Spooky Bed here. Hello, hello. AJ says I'm here. I'll join soon. Cool. I'll keep an eye out for you. I will keep an eye out for AJ. Holy shit. English is hard. It's Monday. I need more coffee. Oh, goodness. Spooky says it would be rude not to watch and support one of my biggest fans. It's true. It's true. As although it has been declared that I am one of Spooky's biggest fans. Absolutely. And Muttley's here. Afternoon peeps. Woke up this morning to see somebody had gifted me a month membership. Thank you, whoever that was. Love and sausages. Well, hooray. I'm gonna, I don't know for sure, but I'm gonna blame Eric Wander because he tends to pop in and drop gift memberships from time to time. But yeah, do enjoy gift memberships. I mean, hell, all memberships are wonderful. You get access to all the fun custom emojis voted on by the members. It's democratic that way. Seize the means of production or something. That's, I put just a few in the chat, but we have a bunch. But that's just the lowest level of membership. The most affordable, 99 cents a month. If all you want is emojis, that's the level for you. Higher levels get extra perks, such as a fuck ton of member exclusive content, plus early access to new recorded videos, plus a member's live stream, which should be happening this week. I believe I put it on Wednesday. It just, there's a lot. And then another level up, Cinder level membership, you get behind the scenes photos, updates, and a shout out at the end of the video. There's things for everyone. So I hope people can find a level that makes them happy. But even if you can't afford to join, I understand. I'm very poor. I had to pause all my memberships because I'm very poor. There are other ways you can support what we're trying to do here, like liking the video, like sharing the video, like subscribing to the channel, like sharing the video, because you cannot press that share button too much. There is no amount of sharing that is excessive, and I thank you for it. Meanwhile, Ian Davenport gifted one membership that went to USC Trojan 51, which is an interesting name. But yeah, thank you, Ian. And congratulations. I hope you enjoy all the emojis and other goodies as well. USCT. USCT. I don't know. I find it a fascinating name. It's interesting. It's interesting. Equa says, I'm 16 years past menopause. I'm non-binary, so I felt a lot better since surgical removal due to problems in uterus ovaries. That's valid. I've known a lot of people who feel better after the removal of organs that aren't behaving, shall we say. And I'll leave it at that, at least for now. It may come up again on Thursday when we discuss intersex stuff, because we have a whole bunch of shows coming up. I'm just going from topic to topic here. That's what we do here. People come here for the tangents. So tomorrow on Hot Topic, same time, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, Forbidden Adult Fun Time. Wednesday is the Bible Reliable. We've got a new creator to look at who's going to show us by connecting all the dots through the red yarn that probably maybe intersex stuff on Thursday, and Feminist Friday is a mandatory modesty. Alan Parr is going to stop by and tell us how yoga pants are of the devil or something like that. And of course, there's other shows that I do as well. Saturday, there's the debate reviews, either here or over on my friend Mark Reed's channel. We alternate every week. This week, we're going to be back here, but we haven't got a debate nailed down just yet. And then Sunday, I do the evening show right before Bad Science Sunday. Tentatively, I'm going to be talking about paganism and the autumnal equinox, but that may change. So make sure you're subscribed and join us for all the fun things, because we've got a lot coming up. Okay, To the topic at hand. Wow, I meant to go on a proper rant this morning, and I really didn't. And that's probably for the best, because I would have ended up talking about something that makes me very, very upset. And the subject for today is going to make me upset enough. So we'll just, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Okay, so what got me started is this article from NBC4 in Iowa. Central Ohio News. Nationwide Children's, which is a specific hospital. The hospital is called Nationwide, so don't get confused. Nationwide Children's to halt gender-affirming care for all transgender patients. Not children. All trans people, but only trans people. But lest you get confused and think that this affects only trans people, hold that thought. Nationwide Children's Hospital confirmed on Friday it will soon no longer provide any forms of treatment known as gender-affirming care to transgender patients. The hospital said in a statement it's ending all gender-affirming medications, like puberty blockers and hormone therapy, effective September 26th. The change will impact all trans patients, even those that were grandfathered in when the Ohio State House passed House Bill 68, a contested 2023 law banning youth from receiving such treatment. Now, House Bill 68 is contested for a couple of reasons, not the least of which being that it discriminates on the basis of both sex and gender identity, which is explicitly prohibited under both federal law and Supreme Court statute. Not cool. But they did it anyway. They passed it. They said, if you are a trans kid, no health care for you. But if you're a cis kid who needs exactly the same procedures, here you go. Blatantly discriminatory and for no valid medical reason. They're denying people necessary, life-saving medical care on the basis of what kind of person they are. And this is a trend that carries all the way through our culture. It isn't just trans people. This is just where we're starting. So bear that in mind. Quote, although we are currently in compliance with state and federal regulations in order to proactively plan and support our providers and patients in a rapidly changing regulatory environment, Nationwide Children's providers will discontinue prescribing gender-affirming medications, the statement said. They're complying in advance. They're currently in compliance with the regulations, including the illegal ones, but in order to proactively plan, they're going above and beyond and taking healthcare away from people when it isn't even prohibited. Awesome. Super job. Hippocratic oath, something, something, bottom line, shareholders. Yay, capitalism. Fucking hell. But it's not all bad news, because Fern Lovebond sent a super chat for $6.66. Thank you, Fern. And said, for the subscription fund. I appreciate that. We're doing our best over here, and I do appreciate it. The quote continues. The hospital will be working with affected patients to end their prescriptions, always with patient safety as a top priority. Bitch, if patient safety was a priority, you wouldn't be taking away their necessary life-saving medical care. What do you mean patient safety is a top priority, but we're ending your prescription? What do you mean? How do those two things coincide in the same sentence? Nationwide Children's will continue to support these patients and families through the provision of behavioral health services and other needed health care. Oh, it got worse. It got so much worse, because while behavioral health services sounds innocuous enough, that's code word for exploratory therapy. It's not behavioral therapy, it's behavioral health. In other words, it's conversion therapy with a pretty bow on top. It's this right-wing habit of relabeling things so they seem like they're not the thing. Like all these for liberty organizations whose primary goal is to take away everyone but their own right to vote. For liberty. Fascism. We name things the opposite of what they are. C'est la vie. That's, yes, they're not just taking away healthcare, they're pushing people into conversion therapy, which not only does not work, results in great harm, but makes things worse. It's like, it's not a neutral solution. It's not a do nothing solution. It's taking away healthcare, but also adding something that is actively harmful. Super. Nationwide children's announcement comes after the Ohio Supreme Court said in July it will decide whether HB 68 is constitutional. So they're not even bound by HB 68 yet because this blatantly unconstitutional law is still under court review. Going above and beyond for white Jesus. You love to see it. Ohio Attorney General Dave Yost asked the justices to consider the case after an appeals court ruled in March that the law is unconstitutional, arguing it, quote, infringes on parents' fundamental right to decide the medical care of their children, which, as shitty as it is a valid argument. These people who've been pushing parents' rights for fucking decades gave us a tool to push back on their other bullshit. You can't make parents' rights a thing over and above the well-being of the child without giving parents the ability to choose the proactive, positive health care that ensures their child might fucking live. It's a wild circus, but still, the tool is there, and that is a valid legal avenue, let's say. I wouldn't say it's the best, but it's one that can't not work under the existing legal structure that the right-wingers have set up. Unless they want to be blatantly hypocritical. But that's the thing. They don't mind being blatantly hypocritical. Because, you know, fuck you is the motto of the party. Or something like that. Ohio's top court, which voted 6-1 along party lines to take up Yost's appeal, said in late April that the state can continue to enforce the law while litigation continues. It has been ruled unconstitutional. It is being challenged in the courts, but by party lines, they decided the state can still keep enforcing it anyway. Isn't that just swell? Here's a blatantly illegal law that everyone can see is unconstitutional, has already been adjudicated unconstitutional, but go ahead and enforce it anyway, because fuck you. Ohio, what a wonderful, welcoming state. But it's not all bad, because we got a super chat from Left-Handed Jedi. Thank you, Jedi. You guys are adding sunshine to this very cloudy day. I should set up the cloudy background for this kind of bullshit. Holy crap. But Jedi sends $20. Thank you so much. And says, what I hear you say is, fuck the Hippocratic Oath. Do no harm, my butt. I was thinking something else. I probably need, and if you want to do no harm someone else's behind, head on over to adamandeve.com and enter code word Brentley for 50% off almost any one item, 6 free movies and 3 free gifts, and free shipping on the whole order. Not sponsored. I'm not sponsored by freaking anybody. What the hell is up with this? This is an amazing channel with an amazing group of people. Why are we not sponsored? What's the deal? Oh, it's just rude. It's insensitive, right? But anyway, I stole that ad from Brentley over at Punk Apostate because I think it's fucking hilarious. And also, helping other channels is one of the things we do here. So, hooray. But thank you, Jedi. That was much appreciated. Jester says, do no ass. Fern says, no harm, my butt should be a t-shirt. Like in Kobold speak, right? Like, no take candle, no harm, my butt. Oh no, oh no. Like, no step on snack, just about my butt. Oh my, oh my. Okay. Well, we better get back to the thing. Better into E. Boding well for HB 68, a Tennessee law that also prohibits trans minors from receiving such treatment, was upheld by the U.S. Supreme Court in June. Still, the ACLU of Ohio, which filed the lawsuit against HB 68 on behalf of two families with trans children, previously said it remains confident in challenging Ohio's version of the law. And that's very fair, because the laws use different language and operate within different states. HB 68 was found unconstitutional with regards to Ohio state constitution, not necessarily the federal constitution, although the federal constitution is pretty clear about it as well, despite what the current Supreme Court has to say on the matter. It's fun. It's amazing. AJ says I can't find the link. I will put it in the Java and Jugs chat in 1 second. This monitor is awful, so I have to like open entirely different windows in order to get to different things. It's so rude. Anyway, it's in there now. I put it in there late last night, but now it's the freshest link. So hopefully it's more accessible for you. Okay. And AJ says, I have found it. And we have found an AJ. Hello, hello.
And I appeared.
Good morning. Happy Monday. How's you
Good
doing?
morning. I was looking at the wrong link. I'm sorry. Okay, I was
Oh.
listening a little bit, trying to catch up on what you were talking about. You could go.
Oh, shoot. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. It's fine. It's fine. I'm a professional, folks. Live broadcasting. Yay.
It's Monday morning. Nobody knows what they're doing.
I know. It's an adventure. Yeah. I'm just, filled with rage. The events of the past week plus this pile of nonsense. Okay, HB 68, which also bans trans female athletes' participation in women's sports. Again, blatantly discriminatory, not directly healthcare related, so I'm just going to pass this one by, but I want to point out it only discriminates against a specific section of a specific type of people for no actual reason. Just, we hate them, fuck them, Holy crap.
They never talk about banning trans men from sport because, like, oh, they're going to bring the team down because they're too weak.
Well, that's their thinking, is because it's entirely based in misogyny, that women are inferior to men regardless of what else they do. Penis is better than non-penis or something like that. They assume a trans man just won't make the cut for any men's sports team, which is blatantly untrue. There's a number of trans men who are excelling at sports right now. And I wish Carly were here because she'd know their names off the top of her head. But I'm thinking of there's a boxer, Patricio something. I'm not a sports person, but he, for a long time, he was undefeated. He just recently lost a match. Like, he wasn't just holding his own as a trans man boxer competing in men's sports. He was dominating. But you don't even have to look at trans people, right? Like, there was that wrestler in New Mexico last year, Jimenez, who won the girls division at the state level 2 years in a row so easily that her junior year of high school, she competed in the men's division and dominated the field there. And then her senior year, she did it again. Like, she's a cis girl, not even intersex. Not that that should rule someone out from participating in sports, but she's like just a run-of-the-mill cis girl who just defeated everyone. But she doesn't get any press because she destroys the myth that women are always and without exception inherently weaker.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's how fascism works, is we can't look at reality because it destroys the narrative. We can only pick on the very weakest people because we have to look tough because we aren't actually tough. It's bully mentality. We pick on the very weakest people so we can pretend to be strong rather than actually show strength.
Yeah.
Fucking wild. But I digress. People come here for the tangents. HB Right, I covered that part already. The measure was condemned by top Ohio doctors. I dare say all Ohio doctors, but the top ones as well, including Nick Leshukta. Names get me every time. President of the Ohio Children's Hospital Association, who argued at the State House in 2023 that, quote, it is a dangerous precedent for government to dictate when medication is appropriate in pediatrics.
That
I mean, I
part.
dare say ever, but especially in pediatrics. Like, no. The medical world has determined that not only is this necessary, but helpful, but we as politicians are going to say, no, you can't do that for political reasons. That's dangerous. That's always dangerous every time it's done. When done to children, it's also extremely disgusting, but it's always dangerous. While the State House approved HB 68 in December, of course they did, Governor Mike DeWine vetoed the legislation the following month. The governor said he made his decision after visiting patients at 5 children's hospitals, arguing that, quote, these are gut-wrenching decisions that should be made by parents and should be informed by teams of doctors, which is true. I understand that there's a lot of people who have difficulty with dealing with the reality of having a trans child, partly because of the rhetoric in the culture saying that trans people aren't real, your child's been indoctrinated, all of this static. But people need to be able to be educated by people who aren't full of shit, who don't make a living off of spreading hate, but their actual job is saving lives. Those people all say, no, those people are full of shit. Everyone knows they're full of shit. You're a gullible idiot for believing the people who are expressly projecting the fact they're full of shit. But
They
never
say,
mind that right now.
if you need a cake, you go to a bakery, right? You're not gonna go to the butcher to get a cake. So,
I mean, I might.
hopefully not.
Oh, goodness. Oh, yeah. Let's see. Still, both chambers of the State House moved to override DeWine's veto. Because of course they did. Because politicians, there was a time when politicians behaved as if they knew better than everyone, like the whole my ignorance is just as good as your knowledge thing. Now they don't even try. They're just like, no, I am dumb. I'm doing this anyway because fuck you, It's
It's
unreal the
wild.
level the United States has sunk to. The ACLU filed its lawsuit against HB 68 later that spring, putting the law temporarily on hold and setting up a 5-day Franklin County trial in July 2024. Ultimately, Common Pleas Judge Michael Holbrook ruled that the legislation could go into effect given it didn't violate Ohio's Constitution. The ACLU then appealed Holbrook's decision to the appeals court. Quote, this has been a long, hard fight to protect minors in the state of Ohio, said Representative Gary Click, R. Vickery, HB 68's primary sponsor, which is an ironic thing to say for a person who is trying to take healthcare away from children. We're protecting children by making sure they can't have healthcare. And that is the common thread. Remember, earlier on I said to keep in mind, this isn't just about trans health care. We're just starting there. This is the common thread that leads us into all the other kinds of health care. So here, let's switch on over. This is a map by the Center for Reproductive Rights, and it shows the current state of the various United States. As you may recall, a few years ago, the legal decision, the Supreme Court precedent, Roe versus Wade, was overturned. And suddenly, literally overnight, the right to health care, to reproductive health care, to bodily autonomy when it comes to creating and bringing forth into the world a distinct human fucking life was stripped from over 150 million people. Holy shit.
Texas
That's
is
just
one
one
of them.
aspect of
Yeah.
healthcare, but that's politics. So here we are with the United States as it stands right now. These light blue states, like along the West Coast here, are where healthcare is explicitly protected and access has been expanded at the state level. These yellow places are where the healthcare is protected, but that's it. These orange places, like Virginia, are where there's no legal protections at all. It remains accessible by default, but there's nothing keeping it accessible. And in many of these states, there's burdens and barriers and gatekeeping and all kinds of bullshit in order to access the healthcare, which effectively blocks a number of people from accessing the healthcare, much like with trans healthcare. Here in New York, it's legal, but there's a lot of barriers. You have to jump through all sorts of hoops, which isn't just to do the dance monkey dance thing. It's deliberately to limit access to the necessary healthcare, to reduce the number of people who can get it, who can reach it, who can utilize it effectively, reducing the number of people who can benefit from it in two ways: by straight up reducing the number of people, but also by causing the people who can't get the healthcare they need to fucking die. That's the goal, is to kill the people we don't like. Holy shit.
So here in Texas, they went a step ahead. All right. So what they did is you can, hey, you can cross the state lines, right, to go get an abortion somewhere else. But
Mhm.
if anybody helps you, if they drive you, if they give you gas money, if in any way they support you to do that, they can be persecuted. They can be charged with
They can try.
crimes. Yeah,
Certain
yeah,
states,
they can
like
try. Yeah, for sure.
New York, has an upgraded shield law. That's one of the reasons we get the blue. It's Shield Law 2.0. It's a constitution level amendment to our law that not only explicitly protects access to reproductive health care, but protects physicians, providers, and others who help people get to New York to receive health care
Mhm.
from being prosecuted by other states. Physicians in New York and enablers, I suppose, are not subject to other states' laws. There is no Fugitive Slave Act in effect in New York when it comes to access to reproductive health care. And a few other states are like that too. I believe Massachusetts, Maine, and California have one. Possibly other states, possibly Colorado. I'm not 100% sure, because there's a lot of different things that need protection from other states right now, which is wild in a free country. Holy shit. But yeah, Texas is especially bad. It's hostile, it's illegal. I mean, the red places are hostile, but like in Texas, it's not only prohibited, but it's like extra prohibited. Holy shit. Like, not only can you not get access, you're subject to civil and criminal penalties if you do access, and so are the people who help you access it, if they can get their hands on them. That's like beyond draconian. It's fucking totalitarian level bullshit. But as always, it's not just the one thing that's affected. Hello, Lil. Good to see you.
Hello.
Reproductive health care isn't just abortions. It's also access to hormones. It's also access to gynecological care. It's also access to ovarian tumor care. Everything to do with the reproductive system is
Preventive.
reproductive health
Yeah,
care.
preventive care too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, honestly, as some of our friends often say, not stopping Gilead is how you get Gilead. Removing people's rights to reproductive health care is removing people's rights to control their own reproductive system. It's in many states, we do see explicit requirements that victims of rape, people with ectopic pregnancies, and so forth, are required by law to carry that pregnancy, even if it kills them. But
It's
that's not
wild.
all of it. It's you. We're one step, in some places not even a full step, away from banning hysterectomies, of banning the removal of cancerous ovaries, because that would diminish reproductive capability. And we're all just walking reproductive systems who like to pretend we have the right to vote because women are property. Here's a fun tip, totally off topic, but it came to mind last night. Someone was asking me for debate tips about an upcoming showdown. He was especially worried about what happens if his opponent drops the "what is a woman" question on him. And I advised that you don't get into complex scientific definitions because they think they have a quick, snappy comeback. So hit them with a quick, snappy comeback that you can expand on if you need to, but make it quick. Like I go a category because I could expand on that and it's quicker and more accurate than their whole thing. But I digress. But then quickly retort with, assuming the person is defending the Bible, for example, which was the case in this debate, come back with, how does the Bible define a woman? Turn it around on them and make it about the actual topic. In this case, is the Bible the best guide for society? How does a Bible define a woman? Because they're going to come back with one of two possibilities. Only two. I've never seen anybody come up with another option. Maybe they could, but it's very unlikely. Either they're going to go with Adam and Eve. The Bible describes Eve as a woman made from Adam's rib. Oh shit, that makes her trans. Because
Oops.
we took a male body and made it female. Or
But all the
they'll
genetic
start-
material will be male.
Yeah, or they'll start to fumble around somewhere in the general vicinity of the 10 Commandments about not coveting neighbors' wives or selling daughters into slavery or whatever the case may be. As they fumble and flounder, you let them dangle on the hook for a minute and then you crush them. Property. The Bible defines women as property.
Yeah, Fern just say that too. It's
Drop
quite...
the mic on them. What is a woman? A category. How does the Bible define women? Well, I had property. The Bible defines women as property. Get the fuck out. Kitty table. Holy shit. But even though it's a tangent, it's relevant because that's what we're looking at. We look at this fucking map. While we do have some states that are trying to protect our freedoms in a fucking free country, half of that map either has no protections, makes reproductive health care illegal, or is so hostile that they will chase you across state borders. Because the Bible defines women as property. And that's explicitly why. That is explicitly why. Like
They
they'll
feel
make
they
noises
can
about,
control.
the child has a right to life and this and that and whatever. But if you push them on it, if you give them any pushback at all, they always, always, always go back to, this book said so. Every fucking time.
But it has the whole hierarchy outlined there. Like it's God, then the church, then the husband, then the wife, then the children that are pretty much worthless at the bottom of the barrel. We are like slightly above the children, just barely right there.
Yes, women are property, but we're a higher rank property above the community property. Like children have rights over no one. Women are still property, but we have like authority over the children.
Right,
so that men don't have to. The property can watch itself. It's fine. Fucking hell. But it's not just women's health care. Like that's the most obvious one from this particular map and example. But so the big beautiful bill passed, which includes sweeping cuts to Medicaid, Medicare, and other healthcare access, especially for people who can't afford or don't have an employer who offers certain insurances. So this is what we're looking at for the percentage change in the number of enrollees based on eligibility, based on the funding changes as a direct result of the big beautiful bill. And as you can see, there are several states where there's no data available. Interestingly enough, most of them are in the South, but for the states where there is data, we see a minimum of 19% disenrollment. That's basically 1 in 5. 1 in 5 people. If you have 5 people in your family who all have health insurance, one of them is about to lose it. Fuck you is the motto of the party. But it goes all the way up as the color gets darker and darker to the very darkest blue, like Virginia, like Oregon. You're looking at 49% loss of access. Half of the people are going to have no healthcare access at all because of this bill. So it's not just trans people, it's not just children, it's not just women. Even if you don't give a fuck about women, half of people in some of these states, and a significant number in all of them, are about to lose access to medical care. We're ending healthcare in this country. Not only has it been overpriced for fucking ever, but we're just not doing it. But we're joined by Jess from Canada, who no doubt has
Knows
opinions.
nothing. No, not you guys are gonna have to teach me how US healthcare works because I know very little.
It just doesn't.
You're lucky.
It just
Lucky
doesn't.
you.
Okay.
We're just
I
we're
am.
straight up banning it. Like, we're banning it piecemeal right now. Like, no HRT access for anyone of any age in some states. No reproductive healthcare access for anyone of any age in some states. And now just no healthcare access at all for almost half the population in some states. Holy shit. How does healthcare work in Canada? I bet it's a super complicated system we dumb Americans couldn't possibly understand.
We have mostly socialized healthcare. There's a lot I think that people don't understand that isn't covered in Canada. Like dental, eye care, like any vision care is not covered, except for kids.
Here too.
And so dental and medication is also not covered. So if you have I think our prices are better than yours though. Like the medication is still cheaper if you have to purchase rather than having it be covered by private insurance, which I am also lucky that I have. But it makes it very, very difficult to do some things. And growing up, the US healthcare system was always kind of a joke to us. And it kind of more so is, but now it's just not funny. Like, you guys really need some help on this. And I think the word socialized is scaring off the right.
They're
And
communists.
they don't want anything to do with paying for somebody else's problems because they pulled themselves up by their bootstraps and they did everything.
Mhm.
So, as you may be aware, I often say, my debate teacher way back in high school told me, you have to learn where the other side is coming from. You have to be able to represent the other side's views at least as well as your own, or you don't really understand either side. And so, in the process of learning about these debates back in the 90s, when it was still, just political, there weren't people dying because of it, I had to learn about the anti-abortion side. I had to learn about where the right wing was coming from on many of these issues. And while I was doing that, while I was, ingratiating myself to right wingers, because they won't honestly engage with anyone. To get honest information from a right winger, you have to convince them you are a right winger. They won't just answer questions, they will only preach to the choir. But I digress. So as I'm going through this, I discovered I was making a number of behavioral faux pas, including using the word socialism incorrectly. I was using socialism to refer to the practice of the community paying for things that the community benefits from, like fire departments, schools, roads, etc. That's not what socialism means to a right winger. There's a long story behind it, and I don't want to derail us too badly, but to make it very, very short, in the right winger to English dictionary, socialism means black people. Black people have jobs. Black people have rights. Black people can vote. Black people can get health care. Socialized health care means the blacks are allowed in the hospitals. And it's
We have
terrifying. We
different
can't have that.
racism. I know this is medical topic, and I'm derailing a little bit, but there's like protests in Toronto right now about Indians coming to Canada, and they took our jobs.
Oh
Um,
yeah, here is the Mexicans across the border.
and so racism is awful, and I wish I had known about it because I would stink and go to Toronto and I would counter protest. And I would rope my sister-in-law into coming with me because she lives in Toronto. You guys wanna go protest?
I mean, I haven't been to a good protest in a while. Although,
Yeah.
as you know, traveling is a little difficult for me.
I know. It might be
I'm-
closer for you actually than it is for me. And we gotta get AJ out here.
yeah, let's import AJ. It'll
Yeah.
be fun.
I know. Yeah, I would be down to go to Canada. We wanted to. We were thinking about it recently, but it's finances and jobs and stuff. It might be easier to move to a blue state. So I don't know. Next consideration is Washington State, which is close to Canada. So, but on the other side.
On the other side, I would go out that way though. It's really pretty out there.
It's beautiful. Yeah, I've been to
Yeah,
Vancouver before. So pretty.
it's very nice.
I only just got out to the Pacific Northwest during my last over-the-road stint. Like 2 years ago now.
Wow.
Only briefly, like literally, I passed through Oregon on the way to Washington to pick up a load of potatoes, and then we left again. Like it was just in and out kind of thing. But I got to see, I think it was Mount Rainier at sunset. It's one of those mountains
Ooh.
that sticks up so much it like casts its shadow on the clouds, and I was like, huh, look, there's the Earth not being flat again. It's neat.
I love that that's your reaction to it too.
Mhm.
What's that?
Gosh.
They lied to me.
Yeah. It's just it's just a random thing, and I realize that that's because I'm entirely baked in the countering pseudoscience space. Like all the conspiracy theories, as I often say, all the conspiracy theories are the same conspiracy theory. They have a different vocabulary, but they're doing the same thing and for the same reason, which once again always comes back to this fucking book.
Every time.
Racism and racism.
Ay, ay, ay. It makes
Yeah,
me so
we need to
fucking
go.
tight. But when I do see something, I mean, Mount Rainier is cool on its own. It's a giant fucking mountain. It is a volcano, and it's so big that the weather adjusts around it, and that's always neat
Ooh.
to see. And I love geology anyway. Plus, there's a bunch of forests. The views in the area, like the I forget the name of the gorge,
I
but
don't
there's a
know
big
what
old
we would do
pool.
with a bunch of forest valkais though. That would just that
Mhm.
too many forests.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah,
Well,
a bunch of him. Just clone him already.
It's clone.
you know, I'm thinking now about when Chris came to the Kentucky protest and he was flabbergasted by all the trees, knowing that forest comes from Oklahoma, where there are some trees, but it's not like forests. What would forest do in an actual forest? What happens if you put forest in the forest?
That's a good
I think he's going
question.
to Costa Rica, so he's going to be in a rainforest.
Yeah.
Forest
Well,
in a rainforest.
he went to I'm trying to think. Was it Bali or somewhere like? No.
Possibly. He's been to the Galapagos. He's been all over the place.
Yeah, I can't remember, but he posted a video and he was like surrounded by like really like it looked like a forest to me. It was awesome. Yeah.
That's cool.
It
Yeah.
should be like on his YouTube, I think. It was a short. Yeah. So cool.
I don't actually know what
Probably.
Oklahoma looks like. I have
Uh,
no idea. Is it mountainous? Is it
well,
flat?
it would be somewhere that people will think the earth
Mostly
is
flat,
flat.
Like, rumors
Right.
of the intense flatness of the Great Plains are vastly overestimated. I mean, compared to the coasts, it's flat. It's relatively flat. There's no mountains, there's no major canyons. But it's not flat,
We have
flat.
like
Like, there's still some
hills.
pretty decent freaking hills.
Yeah.
What is the state fossil of Oklahoma? I want to know now.
That's a good
Jerry
question. I
Falwell?
don't know that. Jerry Falwell. Good one.
I don't even know if he's from Oklahoma.
I,
He's probably one of the Carolinas. I don't know, but
okay, I don't know how to say it. It's the Sorophaganax. It is spelled in a way that I cannot pronounce it very well, but that's interesting, and I'm going to learn about that later.
Great.
fantastic. Yeah, it's always so weird to me that, like, I get that Forrest grew up in Oklahoma, but, like, considering how hostile that state has become to science and education generally, I mean, more so than other countries. Granted, we're talking about healthcare today, but it's a similar map when you look at the war on education, right? Like, in
Oh, yeah.
Oklahoma is fucking ground zero, with Ryan Walters doing his level best to kill the children intentionally, or at the very least to miseducate them as hard as he can, what with, requiring Bibles in classrooms and shit.
Yes, Fern, I agree.
It's so fucking ridiculous. Fern says a lot of cool things. Did Fern say something? Or am I going
Fern says if
crazy?
I try to pronounce that fossil on TikTok, it'll get the live banned. It's true.
Okay,
When you
probably
look
fair.
at the spelling, it's
Those pesky fossils. Oh goodness. Yeah, Oklahoma is in the prairie, the Great Plains region, which, like I said, the name is a little deceptive. It's relatively flat compared to the mountains and whatnot, but it's not actually, like, flatter than, say, Southern Illinois. It just there's just no mountains.
like
That's all that means.
no mountains. Okay.
Yeah, it's not like in Utah they have, which is in the mountain region, by the by, but there's these
Yeah.
vast sand and salt flats that are flat. Like, when it
I
rains,
want
they
to see
they
that.
turn into a sheet of what, it doesn't matter how little rain there is, it turns into a mirror sheet because it's so flat. Like, that's flat.
Flat, flat.
Like, pre-transition ember flat, Oh goodness.
Current AJ flat.
Yeah.
I have a complaint against Forrest, and this is a joke, okay? But like, you know how everybody complains about women who don't want to have children? Well, I'm gonna complain because Forrest doesn't want to have children, and we need a bunch of little Forrests.
It's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that he doesn't want to have children.
But think
with
about it.
because the
He's
world that we live in.
influencing.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh no, that he said he doesn't want to have children because of the way the world is fucking insane, and yeah, he doesn't want to bring a life into that. So this is totally understandable.
It's true.
Yeah.
What were you
At
gonna
least
say?
one of my kids is leaning in that direction.
Just that he is influencing a whole new generation of other science educators and people that love science, and I think that's as similar as he can get, and I love that for him. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, like he was the one of the people that influenced me and my husband the most into understanding our kid who's no binary. Uh, but originally, we're leaning towards, well, I guess non binary is under the trans umbrella, right? Amber, is that
Can
considered?
be.
Okay.
So
I think it
it's
depends on the person.
complicated. Definitionally, non-binary is part of trans, because trans is anybody who doesn't
Right.
align with what
The
they were
binary.
assigned at birth, and a
Yeah.
non-binary person doesn't align with what they were assigned at birth. But we really don't like prescriptive definitions, so it's, in most of the community, it's kind of an opt-in thing. There's a lot of non-binary people who choose not to be associated with being trans because of the political baggage of being trans. So they're like, I'm non-binary, but I'm not trans.
No, my kid's the opposite. My kid's like, I'm trans, I'm non-binary. Yeah.
Mhm.
But Forrest was one of the people that helped us like understand that, like, all of the different factors that go into someone being trans. So it's really, really, really helpful for us. Love it
Yeah.
for that.
Oh my goodness, he's one of my favorite humans, partly because of his exuberant enthusiasm. Like I resonate with a part of that. There's a part of me that has that same fire to it. It's just hard to get to at this point in my life because of all the assorted bullshit going on in the world, which is one of the reasons I chose the name Ember, because there's a fire in me, but
Oh, I
it's
love
it's
that.
it's like a
Oh,
spark,
that's
you know,
nice.
it's buried under all the ash and shit, but I'm hoping I can get it back out someday. But sometimes it does manage to flare, you know. And Forrest inspires that in me. And he like reignited my love of science. I'd always been a fan of geology and all the neat things about the different life forms, like, oh, look at this little weird little doodad that can do this cool thing. It's so fucking amazing. And Forrest is like that all the time, and it reminds me, it resonates. There's that part within me too. And so it got me, encountering Forrest got me all excited about the things that I used to love so much about science before the world tried to beat that curiosity out of me. Like how cool the
Yeah.
stars are and what else there is besides stars up there. There's so
Yeah,
much.
and it's not even an on-screen persona. He's like that in person. He's
Mhm.
like that fired up in person. Like if you talk to him about science,
Yes.
he'll be like he's all in.
Yeah,
And
I got
it
to, meet him. He came to the Comic Con I run in Watertown. He was one of the
Oh
guests because I'm always
yeah.
trying to get science in, because you'd think a Comic Con is going to have a sci-fi component, and there's always going to be fans of actual science. And I know there's other conventions where they do whole panels with just actual scientists talking about the real state of cutting edge science, whether it's space exploration or nanotechnology or something. And I'm like, Forrest fits my convention because we're sort of like VidCon of the East. Like we put a lot of attention on TikTok creators and other video creators. And I'm like, Forrest is a perfect fit. He's a science dude, but he's also a name in video creation spaces, right? So yeah, I got to interview him as a promo for the event, and then I got to meet him. And as
That's fun.
wholesome as you think he is, he's actually even more wholesome in person.
Right, yeah, he's
yes.
the best. He spent a whole bunch of time talking to my kid about like a science, but I mean, you can tell he's a teacher, right? Because he
Mhm.
was like totally person, like totally on the same level with my kid. Wasn't like treating them like like a little kid. It was just like talking like real science, like actual level science. It was so
Erica's the
fun.
same way with my daughter, actually. When we met Erica this summer, my daughter was, like, fangirling over Erica,
I love her
and
so much. I've been met her,
and
but I love her.
Erica fangirled my daughter right back. She was so
Oh,
excited that my daughter was interested in science and, like, hominins and everything. She freaked out a little bit, and I loved that. It wholesome, very wholesome. I loved it.
yeah. I
Hell
think
yeah.
it's because they get excited about kids being excited about science.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to find, so the interview I did with Forrest, it's the one on the YouTube channel for the Comic Con is cut down. There's like a long rant that how he does the rants. He
Mm.
like he threw a rant in about space exploration that I have saved as a separate video, but I can't find it because it was back in 2023. And
Oh,
I've changed computers and I've gone through several external hard drives. It's around somewhere. So I'm like, but I do have a short clip of him being at the actual convention, but I can't remember exactly what the hell happened. Oh, god damn it. I got to switch back to my main account so I don't get the stupid ads. Frickin' ads. Okay, let me turn on the sound and switch to share this tab and Bigify, and I got to add it to the screen. So many buttons to click. Oh goodness. Okay, that'll work. We can be tiny for a minute.
It's a great pause for Forrest, by the way.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, if we're talking about healthcare, it's slightly off topic, but he is a biologist, which is related.
True.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't have to validate my tangents, but I can.
Yeah, so my name's Forrest Valkai. I'm from the internet, and I come from Oklahoma, and now I'm here for VidCon to promote TikTok, YouTube, science, general weirdness. I don't know, man. I've always loved science my whole life, and as I said in that show, I was always taught that it's something that's like this big, important, super secret thing that you have to like earn your right to get to understand and get to touch. And the reality is science is all around you, everywhere, all the time. And that's the best part about it. It's for everybody. And so I started teaching it just to kind of like get people involved in it and like help them understand that they have the right to go learn anything they want to learn about the universe. It's my favorite thing in the entire world, dude. Seriously. Like there's so many times I can tell you about where I like just, you explain a concept and for the first time they bridge that connection of like something they understood about this and something they understood about that, and it all comes together for them. We were at VidCon last year showing, we did the rocket launch we done on stage there, as well as we like crushed some big, like those 10-gallon water jugs and whatnot. It's all air pressure. And explaining that, we had one kid yell out in the crowd like, "You just helped me understand the unit that I failed last year. Like I couldn't get it." But just seeing it in front of them, that's all they needed, you know? So I was invited here because I do a lot of call-in shows where people call and ask questions about religion, about science, whatever. And Ember, one of the coordinators, saw me and they sent me an email and wanted to know if I can come out. So like this is the first Comic-Con type thing I've done. Usually I do more like VidCon stuff where people want to go see YouTubers and whatnot. But this is much, much more laid back than those types of situations. I like it here a lot. So a lot of people take a very essentialist philosophy to science where it's essentialism is a pedagogical style that's focused around you need to know these things, memorize this stuff, this is on the test, and then you're done. And that's how I went to school, and it sucks. I really like a more positivist and progressivist and critical teaching style where we integrate the kids' whole lives, their whole experiences, their whole ideas, who they are as a person, all into the lesson, teaching them, most importantly, that there is stuff to be known and you have to be the one asking the questions to go find it out. And the best way to do that is to like start with the big crazy lesson and then work your way back. And all right, now how do we know that? You know, start with all life is related. Okay, now how do we know that? Let's build up and like go over by biodiversity and evolution. Just kind of like get them hooked right away. Because man, that's why I love science or biology specifically, because biology is a gateway drug for the rest of science. It's so cool. Honestly, just if you're into science, if you're into learning about the world around you, if you want to learn to love the universe and yourself, if you want to talk about skepticism, atheism, human rights, if you want to learn your place in this whole business that we call the world, then hit me up on the TikTok, on the YouTubes. I'm out there on them internets. You can go to valkailabs.com and find all of my socials there, or you can find me by just searching Renegade Science Teacher or my name, Forrest Valkai.
That was so fun.
That was awesome.
Yeah, that was produced by another one of the guests we had at the Comic-Con. A different, like Forrest was a guest, and these were like not exactly a sponsor, kind of like a partnership sort of thing. Anyway, they're called Hey Alec Productions, and you know, I was running around the convention trying to film like stage acts and panels and get B-roll from some of the participants and such. So they took it upon themselves to go interview some of the guests about who they are, what they do, and their impressions of the event at the event. And they did one with Forrest, and I was so happy. And then they sent us all of them. They're like, hey, you know, go ahead, put these on your channel. Okay, sure will.
Yeah. So I wonder why the world hasn't combusted when Erica and Forrest are in the same place.
I know. Like that time they got together to talk to Seth for that Let's Explode the Universe episode on the Thinking Atheist channel.
I love that one.
I know, just the sheer amount of energy in the room. I was like, it was giving me the vibes of that I forget the name of the damn thing, but there was a teacher who had like a radioactive nuclear core inside a lead casing, and you could not let the casing close because it would instantly achieve critical mass and just radiation poison everyone in the area. You had to leave the casing open to let some of the radiation out so that it wouldn't reach critical mass. And he screwed up and let the casing close for a fraction of a second. And he died of radiation poisoning a few days later. Now, that's sort of a dark story, but it kind of made me think of that when Forrest and Erica were together, because the sheer amount of energy in one place kind of made me think of that critical mass event.
I know, yeah. I'd said right there. That's Fern said.
They
Said
were both
Erica
at
Forrest, please add in AJ for even more awesome. I can't believe Fern is putting me on the level of Forrest and Erica and said, I don't know. Thank you.
Well, I mean, you love brains, you
Oh
know?
yeah, I do.
I mean, you may not have like the
zombie.
same level of education. Like Erica's a PhD student in primatology, anthropology. I forget which one specifically she's getting the PhD in, but she does have specialties in both. Forrest has, I think, 2 master's degrees and recently got talked into doing a PhD program. So they're
I
both
know.
future
He told me
PhDs at
he's
this
working
point.
on that. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's crazy.
yeah, it's
They
cool
were
shit. But
both
like
at
Forrest said,
Baja this
you
year.
don't. What's that?
They were both at Baja together this year, so I got to
Mhm.
have both of them in the same room, and boy, did they dueling banjos their, productions that they did for their speeches. They each had, like, presentations, and Erica goes, and I'm like, "That was intense." I had to leave Forests. It was so loud. He built up this whole, like, documentary of him speaking with all this, like, ocean life and just, like, nature stuff behind him, and it was so epic, but it was too much for my little neurospicy brain, so I had to go.
Sorry.
It can
Yeah,
be a
that's
lot.
awesome. Maybe they'll
Which
have it online.
Well, I hope so. It was great. Both of them did fantastic jobs. I highly
Yeah.
recommend coming to Baja, and I've talked Erica into coming to the ARC protest next year, so
Okay,
yeah,
I gotta be there. I
yeah.
really want
No,
to meet her. She's
as you
awesome.
know, Erica
Yeah.
has several bones to pick about the whole Ken Ham operation. It's
yes.
one of her hobby horses, and so that's fan fucking tastic. But shoot, my
Comments.
brain's going in several different directions at once, as it often does. So real quick, super chat from Jester. Thank you so much, Jester. He says, I so need to see Forrest's take on the life on Mars. That would definitely be fascinating. So as many of you may recall, I was in the midst of a live show covering science news a couple of years ago when the story broke that we had discovered nucleobases on Bantu, the asteroid. And so on air, I emailed Forrest and was like, hey, we found this nucleobase on the asteroid. What do you think the implications are for the panspermia hypothesis? And he emails me back. And I read that live on air too. But basically he said, okay, so it shows that panspermia may be possible, but that's not the important aspect of this. Forrest said that to him, the biggest thing is that if we can get these amino acids and nucleobases to form on their own in fucking space, they definitely can form here on Earth.
But yeah.
Panspermia.
Yes.
The fact we find this shit in space shows that it just forms everywhere on its own.
Imagine that.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm sure. Considering he's had rants about interstellar colonization or interplanetary colonization, you know, one of his most famous clips is preemptively declaring the Martian Revolution. It's fucking great. But also the rant I was specifically looking for was him talking about dismantling the planet Mercury to make solar panels and end the energy crisis. He's like, no one's using it. Let's just turn it all into solar panels. and beam the energy
do
back to Earth.
Let's work on this. I love it.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
I mean, it's not like it's habitable, right? Like there have been theoretical ideas about building subterranean facilities on Mercury, but you can't land on Mercury on the day side because your spaceship will fucking melt immediately. You could land on the night side, but it gets weird, and then you can only dock during like the 14-day window or whatever, 44-day window, excuse me, because it's got this weird 88-day day.
Mm-hmm. 88 day
And
day. Good.
yeah. It's so weird. That was one of the first weird science facts I learned when I was studying astronomy, is that Mercury's day is so long, it's longer than one of its years. Actually, it's more than 88 days. The orbit is 88 days. It takes it like three rotations per orbit, whatever. It's not important. The point is, we've had a few different ideas for how we might set up a colony on Mercury, but they're so over the top, out of the way, difficult to do. Why bother? Like, other than to say we did it, like you could set up a colony on an asteroid of your choice, like hollow the damn thing out, spin it up so you can generate some artificial gravity from the centrifugal force, and just live inside the asteroid. It would be so much easier than fucking around
It's
with
great.
Mercury.
Asteroids. Yep.
Yeah, Jess knows.
Yeah.
It's what she do.
I gotta get a crown. I have one, but it's very like swamp witch bone and doesn't really fit the asteroid look. So I might have to make one.
Mhm.
Now that you mention it, I mean, I do have my crown. But
Imagine that.
yeah, for sure. But I do have several bones, because my father and I and some high school friends came up with this joke religion of Turkeyanism. That's what Thanksgiving is actually celebrating, is the great god Turkey, who gave his life so that all may eat, and this whole thing. Like, there's a whole freaking thing. But I have turkey bones saved from turkey dinners, so I can make like the holy symbol of turkey, right? It's like 3 wishbones attached to a drumstick. But maybe if I get more bones, I could make a crown, and that would be
Pretty
morbid.
I only know Canadian places to get bone bits. And I don't recommend bringing them over a border.
Yeah, you probably don't want to do that.
Well, I mean, turkeys have varied enough bones. You can probably get all the different lengths that you might need from just a turkey, right? Like, I mean, the drumsticks are like this long, and I can't imagine needing a longer bone than that for anything that you want to make actually wearable,
Right.
Maybe. But
I have
on a
bones for
totally
crafting.
unrelated subject, Lil of all trades sends a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Lil, and says, "Love you, ladies. Internet in the middle of nowhere sucks sometimes."
Oh,
I mean,
No.
internet here sucks sometimes. There's days. Oh my goodness. Live broadcasting. We get issues. It happens. No worries. But I do appreciate the super chat, because as everyone knows, that's how I pay for food, because this is my job now.
yeah. So keep them coming. Super chats.
Yeah, I mean, it's as I was saying on last night's evening show, I've been contemplating doing more than one show a day, because I really enjoy doing this. I enjoy spending time with people, and I need to increase the amount of money I'm making so I can continue to have food. So it seems to work out. The downside is the way the algorithm works. If you release more than one thing in a 24-hour period, the algorithm tends to market against you for all the things. Like, you'll kill the reach of the previous thing completely, and you'll undermine the reach of the current thing. Now, live shows are a little less vulnerable if most of their views happen while they're live, right? Because people see live now and they click on it. But as soon as you go off the air, boom, it disappears from, unless you go to the page and specifically look up, like, you'll never see it, So you get no rewatches. No. And by the way, hello, future people who are watching this later. Do take a minute to hit the subscribe button so you can join us in the future. We would love to see you in a live chat. We love our future people. but we'd
Time
love to interact with you
travelers.
too. Yeah. Okay, so we've gone tangent upon tangent upon tangent to try to bring it back to healthcare. And see, this is why I say people come here for the tangents, because we take this really, really heavy subject and then we add like joyful things and fun things. And even if they're not directly related to the topic, I feel like it makes the overall experience of being part of the community better. Like we're elevating the dialogue, as Shannon Q might say. Oh, Secular Feelinist sends $5. Thank you so much. And says a little bit for food. Oh, thank you.
Ah, yay.
Possibly cat food. Oh my goodness.
Also,
There's
thank
days.
you,
So
Equus. Sorry.
we have 3 cats who live here. 2 of them belong to one housemate and one belongs to another. Yeah, it's 2 for one and 1 for the other. It's not important. They have regular cat food, of course, but they also get canned cat food every morning. Which, fine, whatever. I don't envy a cat their canned cat food. They seem to really enjoy it. But there's days when I'm a little bit grumpy. I'm like, the cats eat better than I do.
I know, right? Those cat foods can be, the canned ones can be a little bit better than the poor people food.
Yeah, now in fairness, if I went and got a bulk pack of cat food, canned cat food, it would average out to something like 60 cents a can. So I could actually eat as well as the cats if I really wanted to.
Bowl of ramen.
Yeah, I'm like, you know what? As expensive as eggs are, it still works out to something like 80 cents a meal. So we'll just go
Fair.
with that. It's fine. Oh goodness. Oh, now I have to open another window. What are we looking at in the other window? Okay, it's Discord messages. Oh,
Oh, that
okay,
was
I
Fern.
see.
Fern
Yeah.
said, sorry for the Discord message. Sometimes I think I should finish coffee before I chat.
Okay, yeah, it's I don't know if I can share these. I don't know how to do things from Discord. I'm bad at internets. Can I can probably open this in another window, can't I? Yeah, okay, I can open that one. Can I open this one? I cannot open that one. Okay, we'll make do with just the one. It'll be fine. Share tab and as Chris said earlier today, I don't just open and share everything that people send me, but some people I trust to have awesomeness in their hearts. And also, in this case, I could read it ahead of time. So this is from Godless Mom, Courtney Hurd from Canada. Not to be confused with the other godless moms we know, many of whom are also from Canada. And she says, atheists spending the last decade warning people about the dangers of giving too much power to religious institutions and accepting wild claims without evidence. Yes, everyone else. Ugh, atheists are so annoying. 2025. Here, have some Christo-fascism. Oh, and I'm taking your vaccines. Literally, I told you so. Holy shit.
Well, that's a good way to get us back into the healthcare topic.
Yeah, because like what do these things have to do with each other? Like why are the religious assholes so gung-ho to take away people's health care? Like all the health care, reproductive rights, gender care, and again, taking away gender care for everyone hurts everyone. You know, they're vastly more cis people. They're 35% of men have gynecomastia. That's development of breast tissue.
I know
And
some. Yeah.
many of them need top surgery to remove their healthy breast tissue so they feel affirmed in their gender.
I know
Holy
some
shit.
that have had it. Yeah. Yeah, for
Mhm.
sure. No, I was gonna say I have a friend who is also an atheist, ex content creator, doesn't do much anymore, but he was telling me that You know, he used to be the type of person that that if somebody he wanted to hurt was behind him, he will stab himself in the stomach just so he could stab that person, right? Basically, all that to say that it doesn't matter if you're hurting yourself in the process, as long as you hurt the other person. And that's what they're doing. They don't care if they hurt a minority of the men that may benefit from those surgeries or those type of healthcare. As long as they get the women and the trans people and the people of color, you know, as long as they get the minorities, they don't care if they have some casualties on their preferred list.
But the fucked up thing, so they think of it as a war. And they're like, oh, there's going to be casualties in war. I'm ready to lay down my life for my beliefs, yada, yada, yada. But the thing of it is, they're not actually stabbing us when they do that. I mean, we get hurt in the crossfire, but it's the right-wing crazy assholes hurting the other right-wing crazy assholes. Like we saw last week, where a right-wing crazy asshole shot another right-wing crazy asshole in the neck because he wasn't right-wing in the right way. And it's bad for all of us, no doubt. But it's like, you fucking idiots are literally killing each other over the right way to kill the rest of us. Fucking hell. Free country, folks. But it may not be a free country forever, because Jester has sent a $5 super chat. Thank you, Jester. Declaring no more super chats. So no free speech here, folks. Not, well, no paid speech, I suppose, since super chats are technically paid. Oh, shit. But Kelly, the atheist queen of Detroit, sends a $3 super chat and says, great show, ladies. Love you lots. We love you, Kelly. Kelly
Yay.
will
Hey,
be
Kelly.
back, I believe she said tomorrow, maybe, asterisk, but is definitely
Oh my
interested in
goodness.
coming for Friday's show. So we will get to see her at least some of this week.
Who did
Yay.
this?
Nice.
Who did this? I can't go far enough down. There's
There's a
more.
lot
There's
of
more.
Oh, good. Fern sends $2. Thank you, Fern, and says, Jester can't stop me. I feel that way too. When people tell me I can't do something, I go out of my way to do it if I can. But then Jester turns around and gifts 10 memberships.
Yay.
So, I guess putting your money where your mouth is when it comes to that sort of thing. But thank you, Jester. Those went to Master Blaster 80, Terry Taylor, A Fairy, KG Doug Love, Raz Putis, Cosmic Street. I can't read things on my this monitor is awful. I can see, but I can't read anything. I'm gonna say it says Cosmix Iris. My apologies if that's wrong. Per Aspra Ad Astra, KW, Ian Kiambi, and MD. So congratulations, folks, and enjoy all the fun custom emojis voted on by the members, as well as all the other fun perks, including early access to videos, members exclusive content, and a members stream coming up later this week. At least that's the plan so far. And as always, thank you, Jester, for helping make our community swole. Oh my.
I love it.
Yeah, I don't know. It came to me in the moment. I'm just going with it. We're here to pump you up or something. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, vaccines. That's another thing that they're trying to do to take away people's health care. And that, again, these are just like specific examples that we can point to and say, look at what they're doing and why, right? Because there isn't any science behind it. In fact, there intentionally isn't science behind it. They're declaring things and openly saying, this is pseudoscience, and demanding people believe it anyway. Because the point is to make people believe this. There's no reason to believe this either. Do it because you're told to. Yes, you may die, but if you don't, we'll fucking kill you. So take maybe dead or definitely dead. Your choice. What a way to run a country. I know it's more nuanced than that. I'm putting it in a package, you might say.
I thought that was pretty good. That was pretty accurate.
And if you want to put it in a package, go to heavenmove.com.
Yay!
Still not sponsored, but it's fucking hilarious. Oh, I love
Yeah.
that ad. Could be sponsored though, maybe.
I know. I was on Bentley show yesterday, and I got to do one of those.
I saw a bit of that. I'm all over the damn place, especially on Sundays, because everything's happening all at once, and I'm trying to get my show set up and do other things. I was working on transpositions for this coming week, and folks, the good news for this week. First of all, we have some actual good news stories, and those are getting really hard to find these days. But not only do we have actual good news, but I have a rant I cooked up for y'all, very special. You are not going to want to miss this week's good news, which, if I understand the plan, is going to premiere. It'll be a live premiere instead of part of like a long live stream like we had been doing. It'll be a standalone premiere immediately after Takis this week. So if you watch Takis on the line, come on over to Transpositions Weekly right after, because you're gonna fucking love this. Oh goodness, I'm fired up for this thing.
Great
And
It'll
if you
be
are calling the line, hello, you will hear this voice.
That's true. Just call screens for the line often.
Oh yay!
Mostly just Takis.
Oh, okay.
Maybe some other, but Takis is my focus.
That's awesome. I didn't know you did that. Cool.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. We have a lot of people. There's a lot of crossover in our community, partly because skeptics tend to stick around with other skeptics. Partly science enthusiasts tend to stick around with other science enthusiasts. Partly people with, reality-based inclinations, by which I mean leftism, tend to hang out with other leftists, but also humanism. Like this flag, I love this flag. Some people think it's gaudy and awful, but it includes as many groups as we've been able to get onto a flag at one point, right? Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. The older Progress Pride flag, it's nifty. I like it. It's got the entire spectrum of sexual minorities. And it also includes gender minorities like trans people, and also specifically brown people who've been a huge part of the movement for equality and civil rights across the spectrum for everyone for many, many, many lifetimes. But also this black bar, a lot of people think it's black and brown people. No, the brown is for brown people. The black is in mourning. It's about the AIDS victims, the people that Ronald Reagan killed, because Republicans are a fucking death cult. So we put them on our flag in memoriam to remember that the anti-humanist, pro-religion, death cult motherfuckers will kill us by the millions if we let them. And also to remember the entire generation that was wiped out by these assholes. People think it's propaganda to speak about genocide. They have literally tried it before, recently, in living memory.
Yep.
Holy shit. But this flag also includes intersex people. So I'm like extra represented on this one. And we should include intersex people.
Love it. Because
while intersex people don't need a political right to exist, we're getting rolled in the same sort of bullshit. Like, I mean, every aspect of the GSM spectrum, right? Like an intersex person, well, you can't date anyone because it's always half homosexual. So that has to be banned. Like, no matter who it is you're dating, it's half homosexual. So no, can't allow it. Ban it. Or the medical bullshit, right? Like, so many of us who are born with anomalous anatomies are subject to surgeries as infants. Sometimes our parents don't even know it was done.
True.
To try to force us into these normalized binaries. So there's that. There's also access to the medical care we may need for anatomy related anomalies, hormonal imbalances, all sorts of things. But also the trans rights issues, the legal bullshit being pushed for no fucking reason, just to marginalize an already marginalized group predominantly affects intersex people too. Like, even if I weren't a trans person, I would still get caught in that stupid ass executive order from January 20th saying there's only 2 sexes, because that's not true for people like me. You can't politics biology, just like you can't politics healthcare. But that's why I love this flag, because it's so inclusive, and I'm on it in so many places. But
I
also
love it.
intersex representation. You know, people make a big stink about how trans people are using intersex people as a prop to legitimize trans rights. It's the opposite. Thank you. It's the right wing trying to use intersex people as a prop to try to delegitimize trans people, even though many of us need the same healthcare for the same reason, which is why, you know, I publicly say I'm both trans and intersex, because representation matters, visibility matters. We exist, and we all deserve fucking healthcare. Goodness. Aunt Jur says, is there a reason you don't say GRSM instead of GSM? Yes, because romance, to me, is a separate thing. It seems like one of those cases where liberals try to be overly inclusive and cram in stuff that isn't actually related. While there is definitely room to discuss romantic spectrums, that's not what this is for, if that makes sense, right?
I would say it's a separate discussion.
Yeah. At least that's my take. There are certain instances where it would be more accurate to say gender and romantic sexual minorities. But in the context of healthcare access, in the context of laws, who you are allowed to sleep with, that sort of thing, to me, it's not actually part of that conversation. It's just adding more letters when the whole point of GSM was to have fewer letters to make it easier for people who think saying LGBTQIA plus is too hard, or LGBTQIA plus 2S is too hard.
Yeah, I had a conversation with someone once, and we were talking about LGBTQ issues, and they basically purposefully put a random set of words together, something like ABCXYZ people. I was like, "Fuck you."
There was a big blow up on a friend of ours, the Kentucky Atheist channel, over exactly that. Is a couple of people, one who was a co-host and one who was a frequent visitor, panel member, etc. on that channel, who both thought that saying LGBT was too hard. So they would say stuff like XYZ people or alphabet mafia or whatever. And, you know, when a person says it in good faith, like just to be funny or facetious or whatever, I can get down with it. You know, I love comedy. I've done improv. I'll do anything for the fucking bit. But like, they're doing it just to be shitty people. Like,
Yeah.
4 letters, it's too many letters. You know, it just,
Or like when you're having a serious conversation, like joke has no place in that.
yeah. Like I don't know. I have complex thoughts about many of these things, and they don't boil down. You know, like Lila's saying, it's 4 fucking letters. Like, you can say LGBT and everybody knows exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, you don't even have to say LGBTQIA plus, or like
Yeah,
you can say
or
LGBTQ and like
as Ryan
don't
says, I say
understand.
queer sometimes, and you know
Yeah,
that
fair.
works
That's what
too.
I do too. Yeah.
Yeah, because queer. Okay, so there are certain people in the GSM community who specifically identify as just queer and none of the other labels. However, you can also use queer as an umbrella term for everyone, including the romantic minorities. Like the people who are ace but experience romantic attraction and want that connection with another person, even if they never do the adult fun times or rarely do the adult fun times or whatever. Because the ultimate point is what people do with their adult fun times should be no fucking other person's business, period, ever. Jesus fucking Christ. Lord, save
Here's
me
that
from
so
your
hard.
followers. But yeah, that's again, I understand. GRSM is also 4 letters. It's relatively easy to say. I just and I'm open to correction on this. I am perfectly capable of being wrong. I've been wrong many times in my life. But from my perspective, as I see it right now, the romantic aspect is just overcomplicating things because it's not part of the legal disputes, the medical disputes, or any of that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I have to agree with that.
Maya says maybe let's
Maya.
not bring that word up when discussing alternative phrases for bigots, though. Which word? We've
Yeah.
discussed a lot of words.
I know. Maybe they were
Maybe she means queer.
talking about queer, maybe. Oh yeah, maybe queer.
Yeah, I don't know. There may be something to be said for that, but without knowing which word, anything that we say would be speculative.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe she will let us know in the comments
Yeah.
what word.
Yar.
Until then, we
But
can
it
keep
is good to see you,
ranting.
Maya. I know you've had a very busy weekend, and I
Very
tried
fun
to
busy
keep you
weekend. It
amused
sounded
last
like.
night, but I mean, I'm no Maya and Dr. Tapioca Weasel and whoever else, possibly Kip Davis. Like I can only do so much, but I do my best. So yeah, we did have overtime in last night's show. That was pretty neat.
I did recently get a chance to watch a show called Terra Nova with Dr. Tapioca Weasel and some friends, and that was fantastic. I learned so much. Like, we have, like, a little dino group going where we wanna, like, talk we're dorks for paleo stuff, basically, and so we're watching through the time travel dinosaur one-season show called Terra Nova because some of us haven't seen it, and it is fantastically bad.
Oh no.
I can't say I'm
Derailing. I'm
familiar, but
sorry.
I do love things that are fantastically bad. The Blob,
Okay,
for
so
example.
Ariane has heard of it.
so
Fun,
Maya.
really fun.
Oh, Maya clarified the word in the chat. I think it sounds like it.
Maybe queer, the only one that. Okay, so that's fair. For a very long time, queer was used effectively as a slur. There's been a very long campaign of people reclaiming it and positively identifying as queer. But that said, the fact that some people claim the label doesn't mean it's available for other people to apply that label to anyone else, right?
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
there's a lot of gay people who don't identify as gay because of the implication that label carries. They're like, I date men, but I'm not gay. That sort of thing.
Okay.
So yeah, that's valid. Just because some people prefer that label doesn't mean it's okay to just blanket it on everybody else.
Gotcha.
Which is a
But
thing that I
so
sometimes forget because I personally don't have a problem with being called queer. I mean, I don't go out of my way to identify that way, but it doesn't affect me. But that's the blind spot. That's the thing. This is why we need diverse perspectives, because the fact I don't have a problem with it doesn't mean no one has a problem with it. You see?
yeah. But so I have a question. So we were just talking about using the term LGBTQ and how some people uh who are trying to use it as an insult, I guess, right? When they were like, "Oh, it's too many letters," or like this person that was talking to me against LGBTQ people just put a bunch of random letters together. Doesn't Aren't they like weaponizing it? Aren't they using it as an insult? So should we not use it because they are using it as an insult? Is that similar to the queer term? I'm just asking questions. I don't know. I'm not like
I refer to myself as queer.
yeah. I will myself too. Like I don't have a problem
Yeah.
with it. But like Amber said, like it doesn't mean that it isn't harmful to other people or that other people don't consider it an insult to their community. Uh, I don't know. I'm just wondering how, because other people were using queer as an insult, right? So that's why we're saying that we shouldn't be using it today, because it was used as an insult. So if people are also using LGBTQ as an insult, should we stop using it? That's where I am
Well,
like struggling.
using it as an
I don't know.
insult, like we could call somebody a Christian as an insult. We could be like, what are you, some kind of Christian? It's not the same as it being a slur, right? Because a slur carries a certain meaning. There's a certain context to it where it's like always derogatory and always minimizing, dehumanizing, these sorts of things. Like
Okay.
an accurate description used in an insulting way. Like, before I started my transition, I was big. I was over 340 pounds. So if someone called me fat, that would be insulting, but also accurate, That's not
Okay.
the same as it being a slur,
Okay. No, that makes sense. That makes sense. That's what I was asking, because I was like trying to understand like what would be the difference. So that does make sense. Yeah, because like the LGBTQ, they're not is using it as a slur, just like as trying to be assholes. Whereas queer, they were using it as a slur. Got it. Okay, I understand. Thank you.
It's a complex thing because there's
Yeah.
a lot of concepts that mean different things to different people. So disambiguating it all to try to get to some truth. And this is one of those areas that I both love and drive me crazy about more progressive spaces, is because we will stop what we're doing and then have a meta conversation about the meaning of slurs and terms and so forth, because we give a shit. We
Yeah,
care
I
about
know.
reality and truth and what's best for people. But at the same time, we're putting in so much time and effort into trying to sort through these things when our opposition doesn't do that. They intentionally don't do that.
Yeah, they distract us. All right, let's get back to it then. Let's focus. Focus.
Okay, so let's see. Let's for clarity's sake, and I realize it's a tangent upon a tangent, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Actual definition of slurs, so we can try to be more clear. As a verb, words or speech indistinctly, so okay, to slur words, slur like a drunk person. In music, a performance group of two or more notes. Oh, I can play it if I don't slur the notes. Okay. As a noun, an insinuation or allegation about someone that is likely to insult them or damage their reputation. I think that's the key bit, is not just described, but with the intent to damage a reputation. And also an act of speaking indistinctly, so sounds or words run together. Okay, so yeah, we're mostly talking about that first noun definition. The intention to insult and damage a reputation. Yeah. Yeah. Jester says, I thought the Christian statement was a jest. I mean,
Yeah.
and thank you, Let's Farm. I just over 140 pounds. I've been stuck off and on for a little while. I'm still not where I want to be, because I keep running into medical issues. Like, as many of you know, once again, I'm on antibiotics. And that means my digestion isn't running at full speed, which means not only is weight loss on pause, but I've been creeping upward again, no matter what I fucking do. But we do what we can, and I'm definitely way healthier than I was before. So I appreciate that.
It's good.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm trying to keep up with the comments. I'm not doing very good at it. Aunt Jur is off to go see a guy about a spine. Well,
Ooh,
good luck. I hope
good luck.
situations improve. I mean, as many of you know, I have a lot of ongoing pains myself, and while luckily for me, spine pain isn't one of them right now, having any kind of ongoing pain is suboptimal, as I'm sure
Yeah.
many people here are all too familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
It's an oof. So yeah.
And
Yeah,
then there's the struggle with healthcare to take care of the pain. So
exactly.
fun.
And that does go back to the main point. Access to healthcare. Like the reason I'm on antibiotics again is because I can't get my fucking ears treated. Because there's something wrong. I don't know what the hell it is, but they've been in bad shape. Like I can't use headphones because my ears hurt all the time. They're constantly emitting this white fluid of some kind, and I've been to 6 fucking doctors. And again, I'm very poor. I don't have a regular job right now. Even though I did manage to get my hands on some of the state provided insurance, it's still a $75 copay every time I go see a doctor. And so I go in and I see the doctor and they look at my ear and go, it's dandruff, or you have a sinus infection on the outside of your ear. It's like, how many times should I have to go to a doctor before I get the message, your kind isn't welcome here? You know, like they're not even trying to give a fake diagnosis. It's an obvious, direct message. I'm not going to treat you.
Yeah.
So whatever the fuck it is, it's probably super treatable, but I have no fucking idea. So yeah,
I have to
access to
duck out
healthcare.
early. I'm so sorry. I will see you lovelies another time.
Oh, well,
Okay.
thank you
Take
for joining
care.
us.
It was so
You're not
nice to
that
see you.
early. You know, we've got not even another 10 minutes before the normally scheduled end of the show. And on Mondays, we actually have somewhere to be. Our friend Joe over the Kentucky Atheist does a show on Mondays. And so this stream will take you over to that stream when we wrap up here. So yeah, we actually do try to stop on time. But thank you for coming, Jess. As always, you're welcome
Thank
to
you for
pop in and
having
pop
me.
out as needed.
Okay. All right. Thanks, guys.
Take
Yeah,
care.
toodles.
Bye bye.
Yeah, everybody's off to go see a man about some bones, probably.
See you, man. About some bones.
Yeah,
Hopefully, no
it's always bones
boners.
or
But
something. I don't know. So before we wrap up, I don't want to leave people with just complaints about the state of healthcare.
Mhm.
Like, is there proactive measures that people can take to try to preserve their access to healthcare? I mean, obviously, vote for progressive politicians who will preserve access or even expand access to healthcare, all kinds of healthcare, because everyone deserves fucking healthcare. But aside from like participating in the system, voting in elections, what can people do?
Oh God,
Protest?
that's a
Sometimes
good
that works.
question.
Like,
Yeah,
I
I
think it
actually
was
have a yeah. I think there's a protest coming up, but I don't know if it has like a specific messaging or purpose. And I think it's October, early October, 18th maybe, could be. Um, but yeah, protesting. Don't stay quiet. Speak about it, because sometimes there's people that are not really aware of the problem that's going on, right? I had someone many years ago, like during the first presidency of the current administration, that told me, if I we were talking about, my kids being able to get their heart surgery because of state uh like government healthcare. We didn't have private insurance, otherwise would not have been able to afford it. And then we were talking about my health, because I have a lot of health problems. And this person was like, well, if you want better healthcare, you need to get a better job. And that's a very ableist statement to do, because there's so many people that don't even have the ability, for many different reasons, to get a better job or to even get a job at all in the first place. I know you're very aware of this. So, yeah, the this person later changed their mind, but it took several years for them to realize that that statement was a problem. So if we keep talking about it, I'm not saying that we should talk to change people's minds, but we should always speak up to help people become aware and grow in their worldviews. And that doesn't necessarily always mean completely trying to force them to come to our side or anything like that. It's just like, hey, this is a problem. Look at it. Think about it. So yeah, that's my suggestion. Don't stay quiet. Speak up.
Yeah, be loud. And that's
Well,
another reason that I'm frequently saying we need as many voices as possible. Yes, representation is so important in so many ways for so many things, but also demonstration. Even if you're like, oh, I'm not a minority, I don't want to flood the waters with more of the same kind of voice and perspective as are available elsewhere. That's not the only reason to stand up and use your voice. It's to add the volume you can produce to this side of the conversation, to human rights, to progressive policies that will help people. Be loud. No matter who you are, be fucking loud, because the other side sure as hell is being as loud as they can with their billion-dollar megaphones.
right.
Maya's dropping ideas like a boss over here. Like, don't just vote, but support primarying from the left. Take these existing politicians who aren't doing hard enough, who aren't trying hard enough, and replace them with people who will do a better job. Go out and talk to people. Let them know who's running. Let them know about the issues. So many people have no fucking idea because either they're completely unplugged or they get nothing but Fox News. So, I mean, we've seen so many viral videos running around of people, go meet with the MAGAs or whatever. And they're like, so what do you think about this? And the MAGA person is like, the what? They have no fucking idea. People don't know. Talk to them. Yes, making a difference 1 or 2 or 20 people at a time is very, very slow. But if there's a million of us doing it, we can reach a lot of people. Also, post stuff online. Share things.
Yeah, I got
your own
another one.
Yeah.
Join your local secular groups because they are always trying to get to know your local, people who are going to be elected, even to like school boards, because school boards are important too. Like they're the ones that are going to choose what your kids do in their specific district. Right here in Houston, we have Secular Houston, which is run by the freaking awesome Will Judy. And I don't know if you're familiar with him. He's doing amazing work here in Houston, trying to get people to do meetings and get to know whoever is running for the primaries, getting people registered to vote, all kinds of things to support secular government.
Hell yeah. Yeah, meeting up with people is a two-way street. I've spoken to so many people locally who were like, I want to do something about the nonsense going on, but I don't have a group. I don't have any contacts, etc. They don't even know that my city does a themed version of the No Kings protest every single Saturday on our one remaining working bridge, because we closed the other bridge for reconstruction, etc. It's not important. They don't know because no one told them. Because the word just it tends to stay in bubbles, and we need to carry word from one bubble to another so people can find out about things, because that's the only way people find out about things. So talk to people, spread what you know, but also be prepared to learn new stuff so we can connect people and form bigger groups with louder voices and do more. Maya says, I just got home, I'm sleepy, but this is just off the cuff. And yeah, these are really good tips. For off the cuff, I can imagine how terrifying you would be as a political activist when you're rested and prepared. And to that end, I think we should do a show about that. Possibly next week. We'll see what we can set up. But yeah, I would like to talk more about not just where we are, but what we can do. So stay tuned for that. But for the rest of this week, we already have stuff set up. Tomorrow, forbidden adult activities. Wednesday is the Bible Bible. Thursday, intersex stuff. Friday, mandatory modesty. And of course, there's the weekend stuff. There's a bunch of other stuff. There's, good news on the transpositions. Make sure you're following all the different channels. My links are all on betterthanember.com. AJ, of course, is at Ways to Human, but also pops up in a bunch of places here on ACA. Well, not so much ACA shows anymore. but other places.
Skeptic.
Yes.
I was on twice, and then I'm supposed to be on in couple months, maybe December, I think.
Yay. It's really cool. Yeah, Maya
Oh, hey,
it can be very intimidating. Yes.
yeah. So
Absolutely.
this Friday, I think it's 4 p.m. I still don't have it on my calendar, but I have it on my online calendar. Okay. I just need to put it on there. But misinterpretations will be on my channel, talking about planes and stuff.
Yay.
So,
Misinterpretations is awesome too. I
I
was just over
know.
at her place last week, asterisk, possibly. Yeah, lots
Oh,
lots of
cool.
good stuff.
Yeah.
There's so much good stuff in this community, which
Yeah.
is one of the reasons I'm constantly randomly plugging things. But yes, we do need to wrap up the show because Joe's going to get started very, very soon. I want to thank
Oh, yeah.
everybody who sent super chats and did the other fun things. Let's see. Oh goodness, we have a bunch today. So Ian Davenport gifted an membership. Thank you, Ian. Fern Lovebond sent a super chat for 666 saying for the subscription fund for science. Left-handed Jedi sent $20. Thank you, Jedi, and said, what I hear you say is F the Hippocratic Oath. Do no harm my butt. Jester sent $2 saying, I so need Force take on the life on Mars. Lilibal Trades, $5. Love you, ladies. Internet in the middle of nowhere sucks sometimes. It's true. Very relatable. Secular Fillinist sent $5. A little bit for food. Jester sent $5. No more super chats. Kelly, Atheist Queen of Detroit, sent $3 and said, great show, ladies. Love you lots. Fern Lovebun sent $2 saying, Jester can't stop me. And then Jester sent 10 memberships. Thank you all so much. It really, really, really helps, and I very much appreciate it. But I also appreciate all of you folks for being here, for participating, for correcting me when I'm wrong, or asking clarifying questions, and just generally being part of this community, which is one of the reasons it's such a wonderful community. But it is time to wrap up the show. So thank you for joining us. Do enjoy the credits because we have enough members to do credits, and I'm freaking stoked about it. And we will see you again very, very soon. Good night. Thanks to the top level members and Patreon supporters for August: Miranda, Karen Butcher, Jessica the Transmetal Alchemist, Robin Webster, Maya Adkison, Jimmy Tux, Ian Chen, Kalasia, The Barely Bearable Atheist, Eric Wander, Jason Jacoby, The Mighty Filbert, Hunter Biden's Laptops, Larkwright, Greg S., Neurogeezer, Mage Greywolf, Faran Salas, Poor Claire, BTF Wayne, Cosmic Kyle, Bomb Poppy, RDZ, Billy Bongsalot, Marty Cameo, My Unfinished Sock, Austin Sims, Tinker Phil, Anarchic Fox, Sabrina Page, Leslie Hutchings, Gazela Mail, Evil Toe, Right-Handed Sith, Luke, D. Murphy, Jesse, Uncle Charlie, Ryan Coltastic, Karisu Yamato, Scott Duke, Michael Bell, Sumami, Citizen 9, S. Cook, James Nordoff, Hecklek, Velvet, KCA Randy, B.S. Lewis, Tori Swansiger, Whimsy, Kristen Slays, Godless Engineer, Fern Lovebond, Hillhugger, Karen Butcher, Milwaukee Atheists, Booba Sweat, Maya Adkison, My Unfinished Studio, Ian Chen Official, Introvert Ancom, Tilting Windmill, Christopher Tablante, Robin Webster, Proby666, Jason T, Action Squad, Robert Madewell, Doc Don Hogg, Jester, Sydney Raptor, Stardust Lilith, Jessica the Transmetal Alchemist, Jake, insert clever dapper inside joke here, Nelson, Supercritical Snake, Eli Slack, Geo Sam, Kalasia789, L Trucker, You Are Victoria, Polly Has His Cracker, Roman Weber, Leo Filius, Nikki Pare, Jasper, Yahooligan, and Pinworm. Thank you all so much. I feel energized and grateful that you're part of this community. Thank you.
Just like a spark that's breaking